Hello YouTube, how's everyone doing? It's Professional here. So today I want to talk about a ridiculous story that I read the other day, and we're going to be focusing on just how the mainstream gaming news media is just ignoring it and refusing to talk about it. And you begin to wonder to yourself, what happened to journalistic integrity? What happened to honesty when it comes to journalism, because very few people are actually reporting on this. But what basically happened was, at the end of April, there was these leaks that were revealed about The Last of Us 2, and these weren't just, regular rumor leaks. These leaks actually had screenshots, and they had a video of a major spoiler. I won't be talking about those spoilers really here, so if you don't want to hear spoilers, don't worry, there's no spoilers here. But on the other hand, what has happened is there's a lot of YouTubers and Twitter users who have been criticizing The Last of Us 2 after these leaks, because what was revealed in those leaks made a lot of people very unhappy when it came to the story. And a lot of YouTubers made videos criticizing The Last of Us, they made videos criticizing Naughty Dog, and also the same thing on Twitter. And there were some people that were showing pictures, some people that were showing videos. Those people got copyright striked, but the problem is there's people that weren't even showing pictures or videos that got copyright striked. I made a video about this a week and a half ago, and now, after all of these copyright strikes, a lot of channels have started getting them removed. And Sony has gotten a little bit in trouble for this, gotten much more in trouble for it. Some YouTubers have even threatened to take them to court over this, and Sony has retracted a lot of these claims, and apparently it's like some company that's doing it on Sony's behalf, but Sony is very well aware of what's going on, and Naughty Dog has to be aware of what's going on also. But what happened is, there's so many YouTubers where their free speech rights are basically being violated, because they're simply talking about the leaks, they're talking about the game, they're criticizing it, they're not even showing videos or pictures, and yet they're getting copyright striked. Sony and Naughty Dog have no right to do something like that, because these leaks are pretty much public info at this point. You can't prevent somebody from talking about it. You could prevent somebody from showing pictures or videos of your game that's not released, but you can't prevent somebody from talking about something that's violating their free speech rights. And Sony has abused the copyright system in order to shut down any criticism of The Last of Us 2. And what happened is, what's really, really disgusting about this is the mainstream gaming media are ignoring this. Almost all of the mainstream gaming medias are ignoring this. You would think that a story where one of the largest corporations in the world is just copyright striking channels in order to shut down criticism, you think that a story like that, they would be publishing instantly. But they're not. They're ignoring it. They're ignoring it 100% because this has been going on for weeks now, and these mainstream gaming media giants, they haven't talked about it at all. So I'm going to be reading through this article here, and I'll also link this article down below, but it says Sony's abuse of DMCA reporting systems against commentators and social media users is met with media silence. Most major video game news outlets have ignored the scandal for over 2 weeks. One of the roles of journalism is to be to hold power to account. I agree with it, Journalism, is supposed to be honest, You're supposed to have integrity as a journalist and report whatever story is out there, no matter what it is. But yet you have most of these gaming media giants who aren't talking about it. Yet most of the mainstream video game news websites have been eerily silent about one of the largest corporations in the games industry, Sony, continuing to abuse the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, DMCA, to censor content discussing the April 27 The Last of Us 2 leaks. Sony is the parent company of The Last of Us 2's developer Naughty Dog, and ever since the leaks hit the internet, videos, memes, and all manner of online posts that reference them have been taken down in response to copyright claims from Sony Interactive Entertainment and Muso TNT Ltd, the copyright agent representing Sony. Some of the content that has been taken down as a result of these claims doesn't even feature footage or screenshots from The Last of Us 2 leaks, and is simply people discussing or referencing the leaks. Like I've said, there have been channels who haven't even shown videos or pictures, and yet they're still getting copyright strike. How can they get away with doing something like that? Content referencing these leaks has been taken down regularly during the 2+ weeks since Muso and Sony started filing these copyright claims, so it's still a very newsworthy and current topic. In the last couple of days alone, the Twitter account of commentary channel The Quartering was hit with 21 DMCA claims from Muso on The Last of Us 2 video thumbnails that had been posted to Twitter. Commentary channel Elvis Babyface had his copyright claim appeals on The Last of Us 2 videos rejected by Sony Interactive Entertainment, and commentary channel Just Some Guy had a copyright claim on his The Last of Us 2 video lifted, and then the same video was flagged again 15 hours later by Muso. Several Twitter users have had their tweets taken down and been locked out of their accounts after being hit with DMCA notices from Muso. So, mainstream video game news outlets have been covering The Last of Us 2, and stories from outlets such as Eurogamer, GameSpot, and GamesRadar appear close to the top of Google's search news results for The Last of Us 2. So here we're going to do our own little investigation, just like the article, and we're going to look at exactly what these, gaming media giants are actually talking about. So we type in Last of Us 2 on news. The first thing, celebrating The Last of Us Part 2 for limited edition PS4 Pro. The Last of Us 2 gets special PS4. Can The Last of Us... here's Sony's Last of Us Part 2 limited edition PS4 Pro and controller bundle 36 minutes ago. Sony's releasing nothing on this. Nothing. We don't see anything on here. Almost all of this stuff is positive towards The Last of Us 2. Let's try something else. Let's try this. Let's try Last of Us 2 copyright. Let's see what happens. So we have the article here that I was reading. That was the article that I was reading. Last of Us 2 leaks major spoilers ruined the entire devastating plot. Hackers may have been behind those devastating Last of Us 2 leaks. Okay, so we have one article. Naughty Dog and Sony attempt to quash Last of Us Part 2 leaks and silence anyone discussing them. We have from the same website. We don't have any titles here that's specifically referencing the copyright thing. Let's try Last of Us 2 DMCA. Okay, so it looks like we have one, The Gamer. But then we don't really have anything from the mainstream gaming news. Let's look at it. Let's look at IGN. IGN is like one of the biggest gaming media news giants out there. Last of Us 2 IGN. Let's do copyright also. The Last of Us Part 2 download is 100 gigabytes minimum, IGN. The Last of Us Part 2 gets unsurprising ESRB rating. Nothing. In fact, they're just referencing a Disney story about copyright that has nothing to do with this. If I would have typed in Last of Us 2 copyright, this should have come up easily. Let's go on IGN's site. Last of Us 2 copyright. Absolutely nothing here. Look at this. Absolutely nothing. Ridiculous. Okay, let's do this. Last of Us 2 GameSpot. And let's put in copyright also. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Let's change this with what else do we got there? Kotaku. Nothing. Nothing. Just talking a little bit about the leaks, and then a completely different story about Ubisoft suing Google and Apple. Absolutely nothing. So this just goes to show you just how dishonest the mainstream gaming media is. You would think that a story like this, where a large corporation, one of the largest corporations out there, is threatening YouTubers' livelihoods, threatening their channels, because if you get 3 strikes, your channel gets deleted. And you have these large corporations that are abusing the copyright system. You would think that these media giants, that they would be covering this story, that they would be criticizing Sony, but they're not even acknowledging that it's happening. They're pretending like it's not happening. They're not covering it. And you can't tell me that all of these guys don't know about this. That IGN doesn't know about this, GameSpot doesn't know about this, Kotaku doesn't know about this, and I'm sure there's other, gaming news media giants that also know about this, but they're refusing to cover it. How does somebody like me that sits at my desk and just reads random gaming articles knows about this, but yet a company that's devoted to reporting gaming news is not aware of something like this? They are very, very aware of this, and they're not covering this. It's absolute dishonesty. Absolute dishonesty. They are literally either on Sony's payroll or they're sucking up to Sony on this. And look, Sony is also one of my favorite companies. I'm a PlayStation guy, but what they're doing here is just unacceptable. This is just not okay. No YouTuber should have their content strike down simply because they're criticizing The Last of Us 2. You can't do something like that, and it sets a very dangerous precedent, a very, very dangerous precedent. Because imagine if Any company out there can start copyright striking channels simply for criticizing people. If Bethesda started copyright striking channels for criticizing Fallout 76, this would be all over the place. But because it's Sony and Naughty Dog that are doing it, these guys are ignoring it. They're completely ignoring it, and they're not talking about it. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's a violation of free speech, and on their part, it's also journalistic dishonesty. It's dishonesty in the media. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think of this story. And if you guys enjoyed my video, drop a like. Let me know what you think. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, everyone.